Today, now going over to the business blunder of the day, you have Ford dealers failed to replace airbags and thereby defrauded the Ford Motor Company. Now, this comes to us thanks to a website called The Drive, which A plus for marketing, you know exactly what they're all about, which is driving. Though they should probably be more about fighting for the three pedals of joy, the manual transmission, like all vehicles should be by default. With the manual transmission, just infinitely more fun, but the Drive they're pretty big into hybrids and EVs as well. So we'll say the alleged Drive, because it sounds like they're into AV driver, autonomous driving, which isn't really driving at all. But nevertheless, I digress. Now, they know that, quote, Ford is still trying to clean up the Takata airbag repairs that dealers botched. Now, they say Ford has been re-inspecting tens of thousands of Takata recall airbags. An estimated 600 vehicles still contain dangerous airbags. Now, getting back into the actual statistics, Ford has started out a campaign to re-inspect 270,000 vehicles previously serviced for the Takata inflator replacement for repairs that weren't done properly or in some cases not at all. However, the automaker refuting publicly his finding, they saying that there's inaccuracies in the story. Now, some of the other presses are saying that, maybe the 33 or 4 out of the 4,000 were actually inspected have them there. But some of these are alleging that the Ford dealers reportedly had assigned repairs to inexperienced technicians who then botched the service on critical safety system and in some cases skipped it altogether. Because again, it's one of those instances where recalls are one of the worst things for companies. Now, it doesn't just hurt the brand, but fiscally the pain is there as well. Because again, the customer's not going to pay for it. It's a default from the factory. In this case, it's a defect from a supplier known as Takata. A defect so bad and so widespread, pretty much every company was using their airbag inflators, that it subsequently bankrupted Takata for the airbag division. Now, with Ford, again, it's one of those instances where the dealers, the money has to come from somewhere. So Ford, the brand or the manufacturer, they pay the dealers to do these. That being said, warranty work, as many of the technicians would tell you, is crap. The rate that they are paid is very much discounted than their regular service and maintenance of the vehicles. That's why a lot of the techs hate doing it, because they demand a lot from the workers, and yet the pay is much less than if they were to do, let's say they're upselling to have someone wants to install a spoiler on their Toyota Corolla. I mean, that's not very realistic, but you get what I'm saying. Dealer installed accessories and upgrades and maintenance is much more financially beneficial for the dealerships and for the technicians. So you have an instance where you have to repair something, the pay rate is much less, and the dealers, everyone wants to get it done quick because they're not really making money out of it. It's costing the parent company, Ford, real dollars. And they are not the most profitable company to begin with. Now, in some cases, Ford recognizes that, quote, 40,000 consumers had work completed by the dealership technicians who submitted false claims on other recalls. In response, the automaker issued a recall, how inspiring, it's called 22B05 in early 2022, asking customers who dealt with these service departments to come back, quote, out of an abundance of caution. Ford said that about a quarter of these vehicles have since been looked at again, and of that contingent, 98.5 had, quote, no issues based on the data. Now, Ford is claiming they estimate about 600 customers may currently be driving vehicles still containing the Takata airbags, not 4,000. So, again, it's one of those instances where, some people are saying it's 4,000, Ford is saying 600. Not to be cliche, but in this case, I would guess the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. And the Detroit Free Press also reported that as part of the Ford recall audit, the company is reporting finding dealers $10,000 per incident of fraudulent repair, and either some dealer fines exceeding $100,000. Ouch. So Ford is, what's a nice way of saying pissed? Punitively engaged, angry. They are quite irate to say the least. Because again, this is terrible for the Ford brand. Because again, there are very few things in a vehicle that critically have to work. If your sun visor cracks or that little piece of plastic won't hold it up, not the end of the world. If your 12th cup holder in the vehicle is a little scratched or cracked or pops out, not detrimental. But if the engine, the transmission, or the safety equipment goes down, that's the most critical part of the vehicle. And in this case, this recall happened years ago. And again, it wasn't unique to Ford. Pretty much every major automotive company utilized the Takata airbags. That's how big those contracts were, and that's how popular that particular product was. And long story short, the gas propellant, aka the gas needed to actually push the airbag out and inflate it in case of a vehicular accident, that gas wasn't up to spec. It would degrade over time, and actually, some dark humor might say hilariously, ironically, I would say not bad, but it actually turned it into a glorified fragmentation grenade, and it actually turned an airbag into a detrimental, possibly deadly thing, as opposed to a thing that's supposed to save your life. So again, this is one of the biggest recalls in the automotive industry. I would argue almost ever since the dawn of the automobile. And again, Ford already struggles with having their brand identity, and it's not known for being the most reliable cars on the planet. Granted, I still love the idea. I never owned one, but I love the Ford Mustang. The fact they still make a V8 with a stick shift, a sports car, and Jim Farley is dedicated to having an affordable V8, sports car, when all the competitors are acquiescing to EVs and hybrids. I mean, that type of integrity and listening to the consumer, that's rare. I love that. As you know, if it's up to me, every vehicle will always have 3 pedals in manual transmission. Get a little extra exercise in the United States, kicking that, push that clutch in, and you'd smile more, I'd argue. But again, this hurts their brand reputation. Consumers are already irate because they have to go to the dealership to get it done. It takes their time, takes their energy. In some cases, depending on how long it takes for them to fix it, then they have to worry about either renting a vehicle or taking some type of app to get places. So again, they're estimating between 600s. Ford saying, the other people are saying 4,000 still have it. I mean, at the end of the day, I would say definitely play it on the safe side considering the situation. Take your Ford vehicle to the dealership, have them scan your VIN, or call Ford directly and tell them your VIN number, see if it's the one that's specifically affected by that recall. But yeah, having a recall for the airbags and having an instance where the dealerships in some cases aren't even doing it, or even worse, doing it improperly, or even more, making the situation worse, just making it unsafe, that is bar none the business blunder of the day. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Again, we're trying to get it 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you could click that button, I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving us a thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback so I can know how to make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.